Hey everyone, happy wonderful Wednesday. So here's the question. How does meditation help you in your life, your career, your business? Can meditation really do that for you? Can it really help you in all these areas of your life? I know it can, and so does my guest, Casey. We both know that meditation can help you in your life, in your career, in your business. It can help you de stress. And we're going to jump into talking about that today on today's Wellness Wednesday. I'm your host, Deborah Dixon-Anderson. I'm the founder of Gold Wellness Circle. And I'm also the founder of lightofgoldpr.com. So let me just tell you real quickly, Go Wellness Circle is a 501c nonprofit. We started back in 2020 when everybody had to stay home. We couldn't go anywhere. So we would do Zumba, online yoga, meditation, all these wonderful things. Now we're doing it in person and virtually. And we have three pillars. Our three pillars include breast cancer awareness and support. I'm a 6-year breast cancer survivor. Also, Alzheimer's awareness and caregiver support. I was taking care of my mom who had Alzheimer's. So these are real passion projects for me. So we always try to do fundraisers, which we have coming up in the fall. And then the third pillar is food insecurity support, which who knew that we would be having issues with food insecurity in 2024, but we do. A lot of our schools, our grammar schools, we have kids that are going to school who don't always have enough food at home with their families. Some of them come from homeless circumstances. So sometimes we'll adopt a school or we'll work with the food pantry to really make sure that people get more adequate food. So those are our three pillars for Gold Wellness Circle. So I'm going to dive into our topic, which is how meditation can help you in your life, business, and profession. We're going to talk about how it de-stresses you, how you can connect with being more aware, having great concentration and focus, and just adjusting your mindset. And I am so excited to have as my guest my feisty friend Casey Carpenter from Speak and Own It Communication. She is fabulous, y'all. So Casey is a good friend of mine. 8 years now, Casey. I can't believe it's been
What?
8 years, at least 8 years.
Oh my goodness.
She's just fabulous. She's a speaker, author, leadership expert, executive coach. So Casey, just share a little bit about yourself.
Oh, I'd love to, Deb. My business is indeed called Speak and Own It Communications. And the reason why I do this work, I was born a shy, scared, introverted person, couldn't speak up. And I grew up in a household where we didn't question the adults. So I had a lot to learn. And what my work now does is it helps executives really own their space and own their presence so that they show up as their best selves, especially when they have to make an impression that is indelible, especially when they don't get a second chance. So that's what I do.
That's amazing. I love that. And I love what you do. And I love what you stand for and everything. We're both Tauruses. So we have some similarities, but we have some differences. I always feel like we kind of help each other in those areas. So yeah, I love that. I love that. So let's talk about meditation and what a powerful tool it is. Meditation is a practice often associated with relaxation, inner peace. It's often something that we don't use as often. It's almost like I feel like it's a little bit of arsenal for us, a weapon that we could use in life when we feel stressed, when we need to calm our minds, especially today. Today, I feel like our world goes through way more stress than it ever had to, from all sorts of sources, right? Whether it's you consuming too much news, being on social media too much, the political climate, the world. We could just talk about all the stressors of life. And we are now feeling the weight of that in our society. So, Casey, what I want to ask you first, before we start talking a little bit more deeply about meditation and how it can enhance your productivity and de-stress your life. Tell me how long you've been doing meditation. What made you even start?
Deb, that's a great question. What I can say for sure is that I started during the pandemic with a group. And if it were not for this meditation group, I probably would still be struggling, alone, sitting in my chair, trying to, quote, figure out how to meditate. Because you know what? It's really not that hard. It's a moment of introspection, a moment of quiet. Maybe it's a moment where you're just have a soft gaze or a soft focus on something. I will say that since the pandemic, I've been doing this every morning, 7:15 to 8 a.m. with a wonderful group of committed individuals. Accountability, y'all. If it weren't for accountability, again, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
that I could have been there showing up every day.
Yes, absolutely. It's so important. I'm so glad that you're sharing that because I think I might have found out about our wonderful meditation group. Shout out to Liz and Tony and Carl,
Yep.
all those who show up and meet with us for meditation. Now, I can only do like 10 to 15 minutes. That's all I got to calm down my brain because it's all, it's all over the place. I'm trying to work up to 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm like, right now, Casey, I'm like applauding you for being, 45 minutes, girl. I wish I could stop moving around for 45 minutes. I have not mastered that yet. So,
We're busy. We're busy CEOs, Deb.
Yeah, we're busy. Our brains are busy and trying to turn it off. I remember talking about this in another meditation segment with Tony, who was on. He was one of our guests, and he's also in our meditation group.
Yeah.
Just using those tools, the tools that we use every day to keep us connected is what you have to kind of back away from, by a certain time, right? It's like, turn off your phone, put your phone down,
Yep.
by a certain time. And I have more than one. So I really have to be careful about just, I know you just have to be careful about how connected we are, how accessible we are to everyone else but ourselves.
Ooh.
Let's get into that. Let's
Mic
get
drop.
into that. Mic drop. Boom.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yes.
We are accessible to everybody else. And then when it comes time for ourselves, we are depleted.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that lesson. I can't be connected to my phone past a certain time
No.
so that I can even go to sleep. Right,
Right.
Casey? Let's talk about that, like
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries is a good word for it. And I know that there's physiological reasons why these screens are not good. It's the light, and you've got that light shining right in your face, and that interrupts your sleep pattern. It can interrupt your ability to go get that deep REM sleep. So if we can at all, just I would say a couple of hours before we go to sleep, power down, put your phone, turn it face down, get off the laptop. Wouldn't it be great if we could go back to reading a book I'm talking about paper, y'all, with pages, and something like that would allow you to drift off to sleep much more naturally and be less likely to interfere with the REM sleep that we need in order to rest and rejuvenate and heal so we can go out the next day and be our best self.
Yeah. I'm so there with you, Casey. And so everybody who's listening, you're listening to Go Wellness Circle, and our topic today is meditation and how meditation can help you in your life, in your profession. If you have a business, if you're juggling a lot of things like family, taking care of elderly loved ones and parents and children and everything, you really should establish some kind of meditation practice. And so important. If you like this content, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and join us because we're always coming up with I have great guests. Casey's one of them. But I know so many great, wonderful, professional folks that I bring them on as guests, and they share the wisdom. They share so much wisdom. And so that's just so important. So, can you share a personal experience with meditation and how talk to me about the one that you had mentioned? I didn't even get a chance to jot it down. The one from when you were at a client site, I believe, and
Yeah.
what you had to do right there.
Okay. Yeah. So I need to give you a little bit of backstory to tell you why I was meditating at a client site. I had taken an international trip, and coming home from that international trip, I very nearly got delayed, which would have been very dicey because I had one day at home and then was scheduled to fly out the day after to be on site at a client and to do a series of workshops. So already the anxiety is raised, right? Because all you need is one misconnection, and that's going to be a problem. And the last phone call I wanted to make was to tell that client that I couldn't be there because of a missed connection. I did make the flight. So that's the good news. I got home and I was able to regroup and fly back out to that client, but I was really exhausted. I'm an introvert. So what that means, y'all, it doesn't mean that I sit in the corner and read books, although I did do that. What it means is that your energy is impacted by the series of interactions that you have during a day. I'm very sociable. I am at my best when I've had some rest, or when I have chance during the day to just regroup and regather my energy. Otherwise, by the end of the day, I'm just done. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm depleted. And it's not that I'm in a bad mood. It's just that that's how I'm wired. So I had to be on at this client. Okay, first of all, sleeping in a hotel, we're going to just not even add all of that. If any of you travel for business, you know what I mean. You're in a different environment. It throws you off. I get to the client and I was scheduled to do two 3-hour presentations, a full day. And they wanted to take me out to lunch in between. Lovely, right? It was lovely. It was also a lot. So what I did was, when we came back from lunch, because again, I'm on all morning with the presentation, I'm on during lunch, I said to them, would you mind if I sat in the back a little bit for 10 minutes and just meditated? They were like, oh no, we don't mind. And maybe they thought it was a kind of a unique request. And I'll take you through a meditation a little later, give you an idea of what I did that day. But I literally sat on a chair, and this is an auditorium. So it's not like I was in a bedroom, a comfortable environment per se, but I just relaxed. I closed my eyes. I focused on the breath, and I focused on telling myself, this afternoon group coming up is going to be fabulous. We're going to have a great rapport. They're going to have so many takeaways. And guess what? At the end of 10 minutes, I felt like I had napped for an hour. I was completely rejuvenated. It even surprised me because I had never done that before, especially not at a client.
Wow, that is awesome. I love that story. And
Right?
I don't think you ever told me that story,
No?
but I love that story because
Yeah.
it just goes to show that when you take that time, sometimes we are in high stress situations. That was
Yeah.
one of them. And you just need to take that time away. Sometimes it might be slipping into a bathroom somewhere, a room, and just like going ahead and shutting everything out and connecting to your breath
Yeah.
and setting that intention that you set. You
Yeah.
set that intention that
Mhm.
everything was going to go wonderfully and
Yeah.
beautifully.
Yes.
So that is pretty awesome.
And
So
it did. They were
yeah,
great.
it did. It
Yeah.
did. I love that. I love that. So we are also going to open up for some questions, everyone. So if you want to drop questions, so for CJ, Winyela, and Ayana, I'd like you to let me know what some of the comments are. I'm going to try to catch them, and then I'm going to ask Casey, and we're going to answer these questions in real time. But for now, I wanted to share some interesting statistics that now U.S. adults who practice meditation more than doubled between 2002 and 2022. We know between 2020 and 2022 what happened. I would love to know if there is even more of an uptick in that 2 year span because
Yeah.
it was just a lot. It was a lot that we had. And a lot of us are still dealing with post traumatic stress disorder or PTSD because of the pandemic. So, do you think that? I mean, are you even surprised to hear that stat?
Not at all.
Mm-hmm,
No, and there may be some who don't even realize that they have PTSD, but they're calling it anxiety. And
mm-hmm,
frankly, I am a very high-strung person, and I noticed that a lot of my anxiety has decreased, especially around driving. I don't like driving. But I
mm-hmm.
often feel that if I've had my morning meditation, then I can tell myself a good story about my driving, how it's going to go. It's going to be pleasant, nice country roads, sun shining.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Driving is different now because there's a lot of distracted drivers. There are a lot of drivers who get there's road rage. I remember when road rage became a thing, but we have
Yeah.
distracted drivers and road rage and just people who just don't think the rules apply to them
Yeah,
that
'cause
we're dealing with today.
they're on their screens while they're driving. I have
Yes,
seen it with
which
my
is scary.
eyes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a scary time, even to drive or to cross the street, for God's sakes. You just really have to be super careful today. So that's definitely a thing, it's real. So let's talk about another statistic. This one I really love. It's a study that found that 10 days of guided meditation can reduce stress by 14% and
Mhm.
reduce irritability by 27%. And
Ooh.
3 weeks of use was shown to increase compassion by 23% and reduce aggression by
Mm.
57%.
Mm.
Those are really, really wonderful statistics. And it's so good to know the impact of meditation.
Yeah, it's real. Those are real numbers, Deb. Thanks for sharing that because I think it makes it more concrete for us and our listeners that this is real. This is not it's like hokey pokey or
Right.
it this is a real practice that has lasted thousands of years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what? It's always so funny because we always feel like when we first discover something, we forget that it's been around.
No, right?
Oh, I just discovered meditation. Well, you know what? It's been around for a minute. you know,
Exactly.
so it's been around for a long while.
Yes.
And so I want to shout out my Light of Gold PR team, who's kind of helping with all of the organization and production work behind the scenes. And they're chiming in saying that they started meditation and
Okay.
visualization,
Yeah.
and they're starting to feel more relaxed. That's really so good because that's what we want to hear. We
Yes.
want to make sure that people understand that you get a real benefit from meditation. It's real. So here's another question. How has meditation specifically helped you in maintaining focus and clarity in your business endeavors? How's it kind of helped you with your concentration, your
Yeah.
focus, just getting clear? How do you think it's
Yeah.
it's impacted you?
That's a good question, and I'll give you another little insight as to my personality. I am high achiever. I said already that I'm a little bit high strung, which can mean that I can be very scattered because I think I can do all of these things effectively at the same time. So I'm here, I'm there, and I love working on different projects. For me, that's not stressful. That's something I like. I'll work on this a little bit, and I'll work on that a little bit. Not for everybody, and I get that. What meditation specifically has done is it enables me to anchor myself, right? I also have something at my workspace. My feet right now are bare. You can't see my toes, but my feet are touching something called a grounding mat. You can buy this at the store. And what it enables you to do is ground your presence. And when I just start my day, yes, I have the meditation practice, but it's really good to take a few breaths before I start a project, or maybe when I'm switching. because what you're looking for is mental clarity that's going to help you process and be as effective as you can be, especially if you're doing client work, because I want to always deliver my best to my clients. And I can't do that if I'm way up here and I'm scattered and my energy is jittery. I can do it though from a calm, centered, grounded place. And I love that. I love bringing that. It feels good. People see it too. Someone saw me present and she said to me, this was a really interesting comment. She said, you know, you come from such a grounded place. I don't know how you do that. And I was like, ooh, I didn't know that I had that impact. But thank you.
Yes, yes, I love that. I love that. That one of our questions, one of our viewers asked if meditation can help you become unstuck. Maybe you're
Mhm.
stuck somewhere, and meditation can help
Mhm.
you become unstuck. Ah, that was Sabrina, my cousin. Hey, Sabrina, I
Oh.
see you, girl. Thank you for chiming in. So, yeah, do you think it can help you be unstuck? Maybe there's an area of your life that you just can't, you know, can't find a solution for or guidance for. What
Mhm.
does that look like? And can you become unstuck?
I think it can help you. I don't know that you can completely become
Yeah.
unstuck without, a specific example. What I will say is that it will help you approach your question from a more calm, centered, balanced place. Whereas sometimes when we're in a situation where we don't know what to do, our energy is very, very uneven. We're kind of jittery,
Yes.
and that's not the
Yes.
best place to make a decision from.
Yeah.
You'll feel much more grounded and know it in your gut. See, this is the
Mhm.
thing, that what we're talking about also has a somatic effect. It is reflected in your body. Everything
Yes.
is not up here in your mind. The thinking is really a small percentage of who we are. It's
Right.
really the body. That's
Yeah.
who we are. And when you have the right answer, when you can feel it in your bones, or you might get chills, like
Mhm.
goosebumps, like, ooh, and you'll say, that resonated. That's what I need to do. Sometimes we need to have a coach to help us get there. That's a whole other show. But
Yeah.
I think the meditation can be a really good tool in
Yeah.
that scenario.
Yeah, I agree. I can speak even for how it's helped me. It's like just measuring decisions, taking a breath before I just dive in and make a decision, just kind of giving myself a pause to kind of think about what I'm going to say. And a lot of you are familiar with this. You know, that text message that you shouldn't send to someone, it's like when you're angry or upset, and just taking a pause and thinking about, okay, let me write this just to de-stress, get it out, but I'm not going to send it. And you waited. Sometimes meditation can help you with those types of things. It's like those knee-jerk reactions a lot
Uh-huh.
of times that we make because we're just like keeping it real and being in the flow.
Oh,
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes it's good to just, when you meditate and you give yourself that sense of calm, it helps when you are in situations where you are super stressed out,
Yeah.
and it can now cause you, well, Rick, my husband and I call it the 12-second delay. It's like, let me think about that before I make a decision, before I say anything. And meditation can help you with that, can help you
Oh,
de-stress yourself. So it's just so important. It's such an important practice. Now, I don't do it every day, but I do it most days of the week. Even when I can't join our meditation call, I now have those tools
yeah.
that I didn't have before, because I started after you, Casey, and I might have actually found out about our meditation call probably through you.
Mhm.
'Cause you had started before on there for way longer, and you still are 4 years later.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just glad to be where I'm at, because a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people, and it's like, I am who I am, and I'm okay with having gotten to 20 minutes because there were moments where I couldn't get past 5 or 10 minutes where I could just sit still and totally clear my brain
Yeah.
and concentrate on my breath.
Mm-hmm.
It went from 5 minutes to 20. So you have to look at
Yeah.
the overall journey, and we're all different. It's
We're all,
okay if we're all, can't get to an hour.
that's all
You
right.
know, it's
That's yeah,
fine.
yeah. The goal is really to center yourself. And I did it at that client. It was fewer than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's all
And
you
it
need.
worked. And that was all you needed for that particular moment. Yeah, I love that. Because you know what? When you start in the morning, it's great because it like sets the tone for your day. I feel the same way about exercise and fitness. I started that
Yep.
way. I can't get distracted with
Yep.
stuff that happens later and then I don't get it in. And now I'm going
Right.
from one day to the other, not getting that practice in. But if it happens where you just really can't get it in, maybe you could get it in for lunchtime. Maybe you could get it in the middle of the day. Try not to let it get to nighttime where you just might just say, well, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm not going to get it done. Now it's the next day. So if you cannot allow it to go too far into the day where you don't do it, and it could just be 5 or 10 minutes, which might be just what you need. Right, Casey?
That's it. And
Yeah.
you said something that I really want to double click on, that 12-second delay. Oh, that's powerful. Because Deb, what you're doing, and I didn't come up with this, and I can't remember the thought leader who did right now. You are enabling yourself to respond rather than react. Why do we have road rage? Because people are reacting all over the place. The stimulus comes into your brain and it skips over the rational thinking part and goes right to the reptilian brain first. So what does that mean? We need the 12 seconds so that we can come from here when we need to think, be thoughtful, and give our loved ones, our partners, our colleagues, our coworkers, give them a sentence that they deserve to hear rather than something that just flies out of your mouth that you later regret.
Yeah, I totally get that, and 100% agree. Anybody else have any other comments? Because in about a minute, we're going to give you guys a gift. So anybody who's just tuning in, you're looking at Gold Wellness Circle. I'm Deborah Dixon-Anderson, and we are talking about meditation and how it's great for your life, business, and career. My guest is Casey Carpenter. If there's no other questions or no other comments, what we're going to do now is go into a guided meditation. Oops, I just found some questions. So
Okay,
get
good.
ready, Casey.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
so Lenora, thank you so much for chiming in. How accessible we are to everyone else but ourselves. Drop. That's a mic drop moment.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deborah and Casey, for a great conversation. Thanks so much, Leonora. And Christine, I'm now beginning to practice meditation and visualization. Thank you for this. That's awesome. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Keep it going. And you know what? When you feel discouraged, don't give up. Keep it going. Do it. It's so important. And you will find that, I wanted to say that I believe that my blood pressure has leveled out. I've never had high blood pressure, but it's as we get older, sometimes we have to check our blood pressure more often. My husband Rick does have high blood pressure, so we have a blood pressure monitor that we keep just for him to check in with himself day in and day out. So that's important to, if you have little chest palpitations, if you feel a little stress, like your brain, maybe you have headaches. I am a stickler, and maybe I learned this from my mom. May she rest in peace, not to just jump and pop aspirin or a pill right away until I check in with myself. She was a nurse, and she always told me that. She said, think about, is anything stressing you out today? How are you feeling? And I could almost track it to something that happened or that was said. And she had this wonderful saying, and I like to always share it, change the channel. Because a lot of times we are so focused on that thing, we're getting a headache, we're getting palpitations, our pulse is going up because something is bothering us. So if you need to take a break from that, take a walk, open a book. You know, I like books, and maybe because we're a little bit older, Casey, I love tactile books. And you know what the younger generation can really do with picking up a real book in real time, because books for me are like a vacation. Seriously, if I can read a book, it's a vacation,
Yes.
right? It's
Yes.
a vacation. And so we need to find that time, find that thing that's bothering us, and change the channel. And sometimes the headache will go away, heartbeat will just normalize, all of that will happen. Sometimes I'll press a pressure point just to see if I could just calm myself, and a lot of times we can get headaches to go away, or we could sit and meditate,
Yeah.
right? Take a
Yeah.
breath. Take a breath. Absolutely. Carol Sims just shared something. Let me just see what she said. Carol said meditation can be accessed so many ways: walking, coloring, getting in the creative zone,
Yeah.
etc. Sitting meditations are not the only game. Explore other forms. Thank you so much for sharing
Mhm.
that. And you know what? Sometimes I'll be jumping on a meditation call when I'm riding my bike. I take a break. I'm walking my bike. I have it. I have the call on my phone, or I sit at a bench, and we talk about moving meditation, when you're just moving slowly in the park, just taking in nature and being fully present. That can be moving meditation. So yeah, you're right. You don't always have to be sitting in one place to do meditation. That's very, very true.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I love that. I love everybody's comments.
Me too. And I want to add washing dishes because I don't use a dishwasher. I wash my dishes by hand. And I
Yes.
love the whole process with the soap and the sponge and the water. That can be very meditative.
Yeah, that's true. It's all the stuff that just allow us to be just present and
Yeah.
just to focus on one thing at
Yep.
a time, like the good old days when we didn't have all the social media. We used
Yeah.
to, you couldn't be distracted because there was nothing to distract us. You know,
Nope.
it's like, we were just focused on everything in real time. So wow, this is so great. Thank you, Casey. So Casey, if anybody wants to reach out to you and speak and own it communications, how would they do so?
Yep. You can email me at casey@speakandownitcommunications.com. It's SPEAKAND, even though I write it out a little differently. You see it on the screen, or you can go to my website, which is Speak and Own It Communications.
Ah, nice, nice. Thank you, Casey. So anybody wants to reach out to Casey, that's how
Yeah,
you can
please
reach
do.
out to her. Please do. Goldwellnesscircle.com. We're getting ready to work on all of our fall programming for Alzheimer's in September, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Hey, Vaughn. Hey, Vaughn, I love that. You're taking care of your garden. That's meditative. I love that.
Yep.
Definitely keep doing that. That's awesome. I love it. Nature, nature, nature. That does it for me as well. So fall program coming up. We have some speed networking events coming up in the fall, mostly in New York and New Jersey, and Kwanzaa coming up in December. So just go to lightofgoldpr.com, which is our PR marketing, branding, and digital brand. And you can find everything that you need there as well. You can message us there, and goldwellnesscircle.com. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Oh my God, this was amazing. I hope you got a lot out of it. But before we leave, we're going to take, how long should we take, Casey? Will it be 1 minute?
Take 1 minute.
We're going to do a 1 minute meditation. Okay. Let's do a
Mhm.
1 minute meditation before we roll off. If you like this content, please click the subscribe button on YouTube. And for all of my friends on LinkedIn and Instagram and X, we're sprinkled out a little bit of everywhere. Facebook. Thank you so much for looking. Our next guest might be Chef Eddie. He's a celebrity chef whose interview went bad a couple weeks ago. We couldn't get him on, but we're going to get him on either next week or the week after. If you check, we'll post it over at YouTube, and follow us on social media at Light of Gold PR or Deborah Dixon-Anderson, and you can know everything that we're working on. So let's get started with that
Okay. So everybody, just I want you to put a number in your mind right now of what's your well-being level right now on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being I am a mess, I am completely stressed out, and 10 is I feel really great. I feel calm and peaceful. So write that on a piece of paper right now. Where are you right now? Once you have that, I invite you to put your pen down, or if you have it in your mind, just set that aside for right now. Everybody sit up if you can on your chair or whatever it is you're sitting on. You don't need to close your eyes, but you can if you want to. I would invite you to just have a soft gaze or a soft focus. You can look down, and we're only just going to connect with the breath. So I invite you to take a breath in. You do this on your own count. It doesn't have to be with me. Nice deep breath in and a nice exhale. Try to get a full breath all the way from the tummy and then all the way out. Release that breath. You are inhaling in cool, refreshing air. Take a nice big inhale, nice and cool, deep breath. As you exhale, that air has gotten warm from your body, so go ahead and let that out. The message you're telling yourself is that you are more powerful than you even know, that you can manifest things you had no idea. It can be as simple as when I go and visit this street, I want my parking to be easy. I will glide into my parking space. Breathe in. Go ahead and release that breath and breathe out and glide into that parking space. This works because I do it all the time. One more deep breath in and deep breath out. Let the shoulders drop. Let the tension fall away from the neck, the shoulders, the head, keeping those feet grounded. I know everybody's going to go out and get that grounding mat right now because that is the bomb. Now, I'd invite you to think, whatever number you were, are you feeling a lower number right now? Are you feeling that, or actually it's a higher number, are you feeling more complete, a little more relaxed, rested? So maybe Deb, they can put a yes or in the chat if that's what they're feeling.
Yes, I hope you're feeling better if you put it in the chat. Yes. Now that you've taken this time to do that short meditation, is that short. You don't
That's
even
short.
have to do anything really long. So I see a couple of people say yes. Oh, nice,
Good.
nice. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. So now you can feel a little bit more grounded, more relaxed. Very good. Very good. And you can do this for yourself anytime. You don't listen. Casey's gonna be a guest again. I have some coaching programs coming up. Casey has stuff coming up. We'll let you know if you join our list, lightofgoldpr.com. If you go ahead and send me a message, I can let you know everything that we have coming up. We will do this again because it does help. It makes a huge difference. Oh yes, Christine, you do the parking space all the time and it works. I love that. Shout out to my Exodus ladies. I love that. My travel group ladies. Yeah, you shown up in force. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Go Wellness Circle and our meditation call. Hopefully either next Wednesday or the Wednesday after. Just check in with me. I'll let you know. We're going to do another topic, mostly on nutrition and health and everything. If we could get Chef Eddie back. We're going to do a test first before we go live, just to make sure he can come on. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a blessed day. Take care. Thanks, Casey. You're the best, feisty Casey.
You're so welcome. My pleasure.
Yes, I appreciate you. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. See you soon. And don't
See you
forget to
soon.
subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.